What's up everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. Today I tackle Sen's Fortress, and I also mourn the death of the English language. So the fall semester of college is coming up, and I was emailing all of my professors about textbooks, and I got a reply back from one of them that was full of shit like U being spelled just the letter U, you know, texting speak, terrible grammar, misspellings, all sorts of shit, and I was just praying that it was something like an interactive multimedia professor or something like that, and I checked who it was, and it was my professor from my highest level journalism and professional writing class. So, the English language is dead, and we can do nothing but take a moment of silence for it. No, we can't take a moment of silence. We're in Sen's Fortress, which is the point in the game where shit officially starts to get dangerous, starting right here. This plunging it. Oh, man. I thought the plunging attack might actually save me from damage. So this is a little bit of an unorthodox route through Sen's Fortress. I'm not going to be staying down here too long. I want to kill some Titanite demons, though, and farm up some more demon Titanite. And luckily, the floor of Sen's Fortress is not only infested with black mold, or tar, black mold up to the ankles, but also Titanite demons. Lots of Titanite demons down here. And I guess before I start talking about what I promised to talk about last episode when I left off, which is Pinwheel and the Gravelord serpents. By the way, if the transition between last episode and this episode, if you're watching on the playlist, is a little jarring, I cut out all of the running from the catacombs back up to Sen's Fortress for your convenience. It looked a little bit jumpy, so I just thought I should address that. Before I start talking about those two, since we're down here fighting Titanite demons anyway, might as well talk a little bit about Sen's Fortress and the connection to the Titanite demons. So the purpose of Sen's Fortress was to act as something like a hellish proving grounds for those seeking to enter the city of the gods, Anorlando. Who Sen is, no one really knows. It's never explicitly stated or even hinted at all that much. The most plausible theory that I've come across posits that Sen is probably the unnamed Blacksmith God that the item description for Titanite slabs refers to, and the only reason that sounds plausible to me is because of all of the Titanite you find here. Plus the fact that this area of Sen's Fortress is infested with Titanite demons, and Titanite demons, by the way, were said to have formed out of the slabs of Titanite left on the ground after the Blacksmith God died. And hold on, before I continue that, let me just be a little bit cautious here. Because the thing about fighting here, you can see there's another Titanite demon in the background. These two are really tricky to fight. What I usually do is I lure this one back, and I really take my time with him. When he leaps forward like that, it's handy, except he did a lot of damage to me that time. Because if you fight him too far forward in this hallway, then you'll start to be shocked by lightning bolts from the one in the distance, and you'll always, from that point forward, be fighting both of them at once. So let me see if I can run back here and heal up, and maybe lure him back a little bit more. Oh, you said shoot lightning at the walls. That's fine. If you move too far forward, that guy will start shooting lightning at you while you have to deal with melee from this one. Or you can try to close the distance between you and the one on the far side of the room, in which case you're just going to get shot from behind with lightning from this one. You're always fighting one melee, one ranged if you don't separate them properly, which I failed to do, so I'm probably not going to be able to deal with this Titanite demon right now. And I forgot about snake women! God damn it, snake women, why do you do this to me? Anyway, let's pick up where I was talking about with the Titanite demons. Titanite demons formed out of the slabs of Titanite that were left around when the Blacksmith God was killed or when he died. We don't really know what happened to him. So with tons of Titanite demons down here, that theory does kind of make sense. I don't know if there's much more evidence to support it, but that's my best guess and the best guess I've seen from anyone else. The fate of the blacksmiths, the divine ones, and the deity isn't expanded on super well. I actually read a really awesome theory, come to think of it, like a year ago on Reddit, and if I find out who the commenter was, I will absolutely put his name in the video. But basically, the idea was that the Titanite demons might have formed in the image of the dead Blacksmith God, and since they're headless, he might have been decapitated, perhaps by another god. There was that failed plot to destroy the gods that one of the items, I think you get it in the Tomb of Giants, the effigy shield refers to. And it failed, yeah, but who knows if he was a victim of it before the uprising was quelled, or maybe he was collaborating with the rebels and decapitation was his punishment, and with him dead and the Titanite demons forming out of the leftover slabs of Titanite, maybe they formed in his image, headless. And of course we get another Titanite chunk from the giant there, further corroborating the theory that this place was built by the unnamed Blacksmith God. Might have been named Send. The potentially unnamed Blacksmith God. Okay, so now that little lore tidbit's out of the way, I have another lore tidbit that I wanted to talk about while I was fighting Pinwheel, but that fight lasted all of 6.5 seconds. So instead, we will get around to it right now. I wanted to talk about Pinwheel because, like I was saying, he's one of my favorite bosses because his backstory is so underplayed, and yet it carries a lot of emotional heft. And I like him, I think I was saying, I like him almost as much as Sif in Ceaseless Discharge on that level. And he's one of those bosses that doesn't seem to have a lot going for him. He doesn't seem to be talked about all that much, and it's really a shame because he has a really cool backstory. So, if you notice, in his background music, you hear voices whispering, and it sounds like the whispers are saying, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." Pinwheel was somehow involved with the death of his wife and child. He was likely the direct cause of it, which is why you hear the voice going, "I'm so sorry, I'm sorry." If you look on the statues back in the catacombs, the ones that try to impale you, they look like the masks he is wearing, the masks of his family. I think one is the mask of the father, which I'm now using for the item burden so I can roll a bit quicker. And then there's the mask, I think it's of the wife, and the mask of the child. They look like those masks, the statues do. They bear a resemblance. So I wonder if he was responsible for getting them impaled. So anyway, Pinwheel takes up necromancy and steals power from Nito, likely the right of kindling. Oh shit! My timing was messed up. I survived that? Backstab her. I think I saw a lightning bolt behind me. Yeah, it did. So backstab. Oh, the backstab missed, and I'm dead. Shit. What area is this? This is the area overlooking the Titanite demons that they were firing at me from. That's that vantage point. I don't think I've ever been down to that specific ledge or bridge. So getting my bloodstain back is going to be a little bit interesting here. I might have to slow the progression down a little bit just so I can find a safe way to get down there. There's a way you can make it through that particular bridge where you're being fired at by the Snake Woman, the much more narrow second bridge, in just one sprint, like non-stop sprinting, but my timing got messed up when I blocked one of her lightning bolts, and I was a little too tunnel vision talking about Pinwheel to slow my roll and wait for an opportunity to pass through the pendulum blade safely. Oh, and I forgot about this soul. So, into each life a little rain must fall, but in each cloud a silver lining. In that case, it was probably like 2,000 souls, and if I don't get my bloodstain back, I'm gonna miss out on 17 humanity and probably a couple thousand souls I didn't actually see. So it doesn't actually cover the deficit that well. Where was I with Pinwheel, though? I was talking about how he stole power from Nito, and the power he stole was probably the Rite of Kindling since you find it on him. And he uses this power that he steals in an effort to resurrect his family. He wants to bring them back from the dead, but he succeeds only in fusing them to his own body. He's disfigured. He's racked with guilt at this point, and he's alone. And he's down in the crypts, experimenting in solitude, trying to separate them and bring them back. Hold on. Sorry about going silent for a second. I want to make sure I don't screw this up again. It'd be a real shame if I lost my bloodstain to something stupid like this little trap. This is a treacherous part of Sen's Fortress. The entirety of Sen's Fortress is actually pretty treacherous. Oh, am I supposed to jump from here? I hope not. Let me explore around in a second. I hope I don't have to jump from here. God, not being familiar with this part of the game is gonna really come back to bite me. Shit. So, anyway. That's what I think the deal with the other necromancers who look alike, and the pinwheels you encounter later in the tomb are, plus the fact that he makes illusions of himself during the fight, or copies. They're his failed attempts at separating the bodies of his family from his own body. And you can get all three masks, by the way, and each one does something different. One gives more HP, I think, one helps your stamina regeneration, and the Father's Mask, Pinwheels, increases your maximum item burden, and it's meant to symbolize the heavy burden of guilt that he carries with him. And I'm not seeing another good way to go about getting back to that bloodstain, so I am having miniature heart attacks right now. I'm having agita, as my family would say. Oh, shit. Yeah. Can't go anywhere out there. I thought I might be able to see it from a bridge down there, from the bridge down there, but no. Damn it. Oh, I really don't want to do this. This seems like the worst idea. It's that little bridge where 3 snake women are firing lightning from you when you're down in the Titanite demon area. Fuck. Just go for it. Oh, this is not the way. No! Fuck! Damn it. My rage quit was gonna be the end of the episode, but then I checked the recording and it was only like 12 minutes long, and I can't in good conscience end an episode on that note 12 minutes in. So, fuck. We soldier on in abject defeat. And I know that that was the wrong bridge to jump from. I was trying to express that in rage screams. Shit. There is something kind of liberating about it, though. Because now that I've lost everything, I am free to do anything. I don't give a shit about snake men anymore. They are nothing. I have nothing left to lose. Fuck. Oh, I'm so flustered now. I know that that was the wrong decision. I knew it like a quarter of a second. It dawned on me a quarter of a second after I jumped to my death and my kneecaps were shattered. That's what really struck a nerve, is knowing that the irreversible decision that I had just made was the wrong one immediately after making it. That feeling is terrible. After that, it's just a short wait time to see the "you died" message, which is just a token at that point. Oh man. Fuck you, snake people. Hate. Ugh. This is probably the most frustrated I've been during a Let's Play. Normally the deaths don't get to me that bad, but this one really managed to strike that nerve. It's just knowing that you've made the completely wrong decision immediately after having made it. There's no gap. Anyway, I have to try to at least get back on track, and I'll just sulk over the loss of like several thousand souls and 17 humanity. Luckily, I did check all of my stuff right before I started recording again, and I have at least 17 humanity stocked up between singles and twin humanities, so I'm not hurting that bad. It's just, damn it, it's a shitty thing to have happen. Yeah, I guess I'll jump down here. I don't know what was up with that plunging attack. It should have did full damage, but oh well. Let's talk to this Sigmire.
Oh, ho! Ah, where did you come from? Splendid news, I tell you.
Please tell me more about that right now. Oh my god, you fucking asshole! Oh, I have to bait him back a little bit, because otherwise he will attack Sigmire, and I just cannot deal with an accidental NPC death at this point.
Yes, indeed. I've run up against a wall, or a ball, to be precise. I'm afraid I'm a bit too tough to be outrunning those things. So here I sit in quite a pickle, but who knows? Perhaps we'll have another development. Perhaps I could try some rolling. Bah, no chance. My head would spin. Perhaps I could try some
Okay, that's enough from him. I didn't actually talk about what I was supposed to do if it wasn't already super obvious to you and you're not already typing comments out about what I was supposed to do. What I should have done, what I realized I should have done as I was plunging to my tragic death, I was supposed to jump off of the very first bridge you go across, and I only made it that far from the second bridge, the higher one, because of the force of the pendulum striking me. The force of getting hit with the pendulum was enough to send me all the way towards that bridge. I might have been able to jump it, but it's too late to find that out now. I could just go and get killed real quick and find out, but I don't know. Doesn't really seem like that has much of a purpose anymore now, does it? Oh, man. I'm still just so flustered by that. Oh, well. Oh, well. Enough sulking. Let us get back on track with Sen's Fortress, since we are back here, soldiering on anyway. Oh, yeah, I was also going to talk about Gravelord servants, and I didn't get around to talking about that, because a very unfortunate mishap occurred. Oh, before I do that, there's an arrow trap there that I narrowly avoided. And there's another man serpent here. So the thing with Sen's Fortress is that in Sen's, we have yet more cousins of the dragons, these man serpents. I just got man serpent greatsword. Haven't read the item description for this in a bit. Let's see if this has any wisdom for me. No, not really. Nothing particularly interesting there. It's a decent weapon, though. Not one that I intend to use. The thing with the man serpents, though, is that they are cousins of the dragons. They're relatives. Just like the Hellkite Drake and all of the other drakes are related to the dragons, but not full dragons. In fact, they are imperfect dragons according to the item description for the golden... what's it called? The covetous gold serpent ring. There we go. And this is the first mimic of the game. That's right. Starting with Sen's Fortress, even chests will try to kill you. And this mimic drops a very helpful lightning spear, which used to be an insanely overpowered weapon, but then a while back, FromSoft nerfed the lightning prefix, and now the lightning spear is not quite so godlike. I don't remember quite what the deal with this ladder is. I don't remember how you're supposed to use it functionally. There is a little trick with the boulders here. You see how they're all going back towards the wall and they're piling up in a pit. Eventually they'll pile up so high that they create a path across, and one more boulder after they're piled up that high will smash through the wall behind it, and that will reveal the path to the ring I was just talking about, the covetous gold serpent ring. And you want to know why all that blood's there? That's why all that blood's there. Because if you keep on the elevator, it leads you up into a big spiked ceiling trap. Everything about Sen's Fortress is so dangerous. This marks about the halfway point of the game, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. And it's the point at which everything becomes so dangerous. Everything is a threat at this point, and every level past Sen's Fortress contains at least one perfectly memorable, perfectly remarkable element that you remember as being the feature of that level that you just go, fuck this level. That makes it so dangerous. Okay, so do the boulders shoot towards the lever or away from it? Away from it. You need to turn it 180 degrees. I was talking about something with the serpents. Okay. The man serpents in this level are imperfect dragons. And all the statues of silver knights that you saw lined up along the walls, like terracotta statues, and that you will continue to see throughout Sense Fortress, make me think that they were Seath's attempts to create the Snake Men. We know they show up in Seath's archives, and he just loves his experimentation and body snatching, so who knows? It's possible that Seath controls all of Sense Fortress now, and he uses it to gauge the worth of potential research subjects, in air quotes. If they're strong enough to make it through and progress through Anor Londo to Seath's archives, well, we know Seath has his schemes, and the unworthy just die here, or they're abducted for other experiments. And you make that drop once you turn the boulder contraption, and you can get a soul. This is also where one of these doorways leads to that gateway that said it only opened from the other side. I think, not this one. This leads to an item. No, it might be this one. Ah, this is a Black Sorcerer stuff. I will talk about this probably more in the next episode, because Sense Fortress is definitely going to have to be broken into 2 episodes now that this death has occurred. These deaths. And yeah, I'll probably end the episode after I see Logan for the first time, because Logan and the Black Sorcerer stuff and Hush and all of that tie into Griggs' story, which is why I didn't want to talk about Griggs in too much detail back when I first met him. I was saving all of that for when I finally talked to Logan for the first time. And the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring you find right next to the Black Sorcerer set, and Hush not too far away. Which is all... The placement of these items is very deliberate. And the uses for them tell us something very interesting about Logan and Griggs, and how the two relate to one another. So that, again, me being the tease I am, that will come early in the next episode, probably right off the bat. I'm on my way now to talk to Logan. I just have to make it past the pendulum blades again, and I have to... Let's see, the drop is right down here, and I moved that boulder contraption. Oh my god, I'm so lucky! I'm so lucky, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I have to go rotate the boulder contraption again. There's a lot that could have gone wrong right there. I'm just a little bit low on health, lower on health than topped off. So the boulder, it stands a chance if it hit twice or 3 times, which I think it can hit up to that many times. That boulder could have just killed me straight up if I was unlucky. It could have knocked me off the side and killed me. Oh god, everything is going so fucking wrong in Sense Fortress. I really have to recompose myself. Oh, that hurt. That hurt really bad. My composure is all sorts of shot and frayed and in disarray right now. So I have to follow the same path back down, because there's a kind of a neat trick you can do here where you can face away from the direction the boulders are coming from, and you can tap B on the 360 controller, circle on the PS3 controller, which is the button to jump backwards, and you can tap that and you can jump backwards through the boulders as they roll at you, and you take between 0 and 1 hits from them, and you don't get staggered or knocked down or knocked back. I've also seen people use the invincibility frames from the roll or the flip, if you're using the Dark Wood Grain ring, to roll or flip directly through the boulder. And I don't know if they patched that yet, or since the last time I saw it done. It's very possible that they could have. You used to be able to, with perfect timing, roll through the boulders without taking any damage, but it's too risky to be worthwhile. Plus, the way they fling you back into the path they're rolling along, so they hit you once, knock you back, and then roll you over again if you mess up. So it's just not worth it. Take the long way around, take the safe way, make sure that a boulder has knocked the wall out back here. Another trick for Sense Fortress, oh yeah, and these are the cells I was talking about before. Another trick in Sense Fortress that's really handy for this particular section is, remember on the other side there was a snake man resting up against this wall? There's his body. And then there was another one outside who gets rolled over by the boulder in the ramp near where we meet Sigmire. Well, the thing about that is, you can get the snake men to use one of their attacks to go straight through the wall, and you don't have to use a boulder to break the wall down, but I didn't do that. There are a bunch of tricks in Sense Fortress like that are pretty nifty. And here's Logan.
You seem quite lucid. A rare thing in these times. I am Logan. I'm a bit cooped up, as you can see. I have a bright idea. Suppose you set me free. I'm old and empty-handed, but I could repay you with knowledge and sorcery. This place is not in my mind. The inactivity is repressive. Oh, heavens. Thank you. I'm saved. And I'd love to resume my travels. But I must log a few things first, and I owe you a favor. I will return to Firling Shrine. Speak with me there, so that I may impart my sorcery.
Will do. And I'm doing all this with the master key. I can't actually remember which key you need to open up all of these cages if you don't have the master key. I'm sure that I'm going to find it later in Sense Fortress. I can't remember exactly where it is because I haven't needed it for so long. But this is going to be the end of the episode on this beautiful view. Thank you guys for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.